I want
that easy.
And that's fine. Also, and guess what? You know what else wasn't that easy? For my daughter to be emotionally abusing me, have to drive 7 hours to get here.
A heated exchange over obtaining medical records between Ashley Stewart and staff at the Cumberland Children's Hospital last month, after the North Carolina mom discharged her 15-year-old daughter, Hayden, just 2 weeks into her 6-month stay for an eating disorder at the New Kent facility.
And I was in tears. I was beside myself. She deteriorated so quickly. She looked worse than she did when I dropped her off. Her eyes were sunken in. She was skinny again.
Hayden's medical records document her, quote, concerning weight loss. But her mom says it's the concerning phone calls she'd received from her daughter that led her back here prematurely.
A week into Hayden's treatment, my daughter called Friday night. Absolutely in tears. Mom, this place feels like jail.
Hayden's behavior is described in her medical notes as disruptive and disrespectful, but also documented as how she continues to present with her, quote, brightly colored blue hair and oversized clothes with multiple accessories.
I don't understand how her look interferes with her treatment.
Stewart says her daughter felt emotionally abused at the facility.
And the humiliation, the manipulation of, hey, Hayden, thanks for not drinking your milk. Now, there's going to be no more milk for other kids. Or, I guess y'all want the diabetic kids to, die because y'all won't eat your food on time.
Stewart made plans to end her daughter's care May 15th over how she says she was transferred to another unit. According to her medical record, the move led to a, quote, placement of hands on patient that was thus considered a restraint. Mom recorded how Hayden described it.
And so they grabbed my arms, and one person behind me, got me and did the move of a wedgie so I could, be restrained. And I felt my shorts ripping. I was like, okay, I'll stop. And they wouldn't let go, and I was literally crying.
But it's this documented physical contact involving another patient that happened inside this hospital 5 months earlier, and allegations that were reported to deputies 1 month later that have Stewart most upset.
So I just feel so betrayed and just so, I'm furious, and I don't understand why this place has children in there. I'm actually terrified. It's terrifying.
December 1st, 2020, in a federal assessment obtained by CBS 6 under the Freedom of Information Act, the Cumberland Hospital received an immediate jeopardy citation, the most serious deficiency issued by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
So immediate jeopardy is in a situation where we've identified that the potential exists for harm. And so there's a sense of immediacy that needs to be removed.
Inspectors made the finding that wasn't abated until December 28th after 2 incidents of patients accessing an unlocked medication cart and crushing and snorting some of the medication, and after it was substantiated that a staff member grabbed a patient by the arms and shoved the patient into a chair and yelled at the patient. As CBS 6 has been reporting since last February, CMS pointed out that, quote, the facility has experienced multiple complaints of allegations of abuse by employees to patients in the previous months, which demonstrated a systematic failure by the facility to implement a sustainable plan in order to prevent the recurrent allegations of abuse.
I'm absolutely livid that the Cumberland was even on the list of recommendations for my daughter. And I just feel like right now that our children are just being looked at as a dollar sign.
Under the Freedom of Information Act, CBS 6 obtained this New Kent County Sheriff's Office incident report dated June 3rd that details a call for disorderly conduct. When deputies arrived, they'd find a teenage boy with, quote, a large piece of wood being destructive locked in the day room of the hospital by staff. The child reported to deputies he, quote, exploded after he claimed he wasn't being properly medicated, and that a nurse threatened to, quote, hit him over the head with a walkie-talkie if he approached her with the phone cord. According to the report, the child explained he had the cord in his hand after he tripped on the phone and broke it, missing the call he was supposed to have with his mom. The report explains Cumberland, which just expanded its juvenile psychiatric care unit, tried to get the child transported to another mental health facility. When New Kent refused the transport because he was already in one, the report states, quote, the supervisor clearly wasn't satisfied.
These are parents that have seen these reports, some of which have been substantiated, and then, from their perspective, nothing's being done about it.
Our office has spent a significant amount of time investigating complaints. We certainly take all of these seriously. They have cleared everything and they are in full compliance at this time.
I feel like parents that information should be disclosed to parents when we're making choices for our children to stay alive at this point for their best health. If I would have had this information disclosed to me, therefore I would have chosen a different route completely.
CBS 6 reached out to the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services about the June 3rd incidents at the hospital. They said, quote, DBHDS was not made aware of this incident and is in the process of reviewing it to determine if further action is warranted. Meanwhile, the hospital responded in part to our request for comment. Quote, Cumberland Hospital for Children and Adolescents addressed the survey findings raised by CMS in a satisfactory fashion. We are in full compliance with all requirements with our state licensing agencies. Cumberland maintains consistent and open communication with all regulatory agencies and look forward to deliver compassionate care to the individuals we are privileged to serve. Much more on WTVR.com. Working for you, Laura French, CBS 6 News.